Hey guys and girls, we're gonna start doing some actual drawing in AutoCAD today. And the assignment from last Thursday that was in Solid Professor, there's an exercise at the end of the work you were doing in Solid Professor, and it looked kind of like this. There was looked like a little angle iron bracket, and it gave you these two views here, and it asked you to draw this third view right there, and add a couple of features to it, like a radius here and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you pretty simple ways of completing that exercise, but I'm going to do it with another part. So once we do this part together, you're going to be able to apply all of those tools back to completing this bracket, and it should be pretty simple. But where we're going to start today, or what I'm going to work off of, is our drawing set. So this is the example one from our drawing set. So if you're in your D2L page and you go to content, and right here under drawing set, there's AutoCAD part drawings, V2 right there. If you click that, you can open it, and it'll look like this. So this is the PDF that we're going to work off of today. We're working off of example one. And so I'll flip back and forth between this drawing and the AutoCAD window that we're using. But I'm going to go ahead and open up this guy right now. And actually, I'm going to just delete a bunch of this stuff. We'll get this out of the way. Just doing a little setting up before I started class, and I forgot to delete this stuff. Okay, there we go. All right, so what you're going to end up with when you open a new document, actually let's just go ahead and open a new document. Let's just do that. We'll start completely new. So we'll go File, New, right there. Drag this over here. Okay, so when you open up a template, the template that you're going to want to go to is this one right here. It's ACAD DWT, and a lot of times it'll just be highlighted as a default. That's what we're going to work off of. That's the template you want to open up, and we'll begin setting up our template basically from scratch. So typically the way I have you guys start any part, and this will be for the next several weeks, you're probably going to start by setting up layers. Before you do anything else, we'll go ahead and start setting up layers. And so in Solid Professor, you should have seen how to start the layers, but we'll go over all this again. So we're going to go to Layer Properties, this Layer Properties box right here. And if by chance you end up not with this toolbar right here, it might be that you're switching tabs. So you'll notice we've got our toolbar, and then we've got tabs up above. As you switch tabs, your toolbar beneath it changes. We want to be on the Home tab. The Home tab gives us all of these tools. We're going to mostly be on this Home tab. A little bit later, we're going to go to the Annotate tab. There's a couple of tools that we use in there. The other one of the tools that's really handy that's down on this end, typically we're going to stay on this end for the most part of the toolbar, all the way down here. We'll come to the layers, which is in the middle, but this one's pretty handy sometimes. It's the measure tool. So if you click measure, you can do a distance measure, you can do a radius, angle. These are really helpful just as diagnostics, and you'll see me use these from time to time, and I'll call that out again. But right now we're going to go ahead and set up two new layers. We're going to click the layer manager, and I just have to drag it over and open on my other screen. Let's see, can I drag it? Aha, there we go. Okay, so we've got this over here now. we always end up with a 0 layer. 0 is fine. We're going to draw quite a bit on the 0 layer. We're going to leave it. You can't even change this color. We're going to leave that at white and a continuous line type right there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add to this. So we're going to say new layer, and we're going to say hidden. There we go. This little box here is going to let us change color. I'm going to change my hidden line color to yellow, just because it's easy to see. The line type, I usually change to a hidden. Here's the kind of funny thing about the line type menu. In this, you have to click load before you can see different line types, in case you haven't figured that one out yet. And I'm having to drag all these menus over. They're opening on my other screen, so that's why I'm dragging these over. We're going to scroll down to hidden, right here, this guy. We'll click OK. And now this becomes an option in my line type menu. So if you ever want to add a line that is not in your menu, click load, and then you get all of the options, and it has to load. Not sure why it does that. We're going to click that one because that's the line type we want for our hidden line. Click OK, and you'll see that this is now a hidden line type, which is great. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to close this for now. To make my hidden line type active, I'm going to go here, do the drop down, click that, and now you can see it's active in the window. And so we're going to go ahead and switch back and forth from time to time, but right now we want this active. All right, what I'm going to do might not make a lot of sense for a couple of minutes, but it'll become very clear pretty soon. So just you might have to bear with me for a few minutes. Okay, so we've got our hidden line type active. And as you're watching this video, go ahead and pause it and do this kind of as I go. So it might be helpful to watch for 30 seconds, a minute, pause, and then catch up. Okay, here's the hidden line that we're going to use for a little bit. So I'm going to do that again. Underneath this menu here, there's this draw button. Click the down arrow. This right here is the continuous line, creates an infinite length construction line. There are times you might want to do a starting point and then continuous, but I'm going to do continuous construction line for now. I'm going to put one here. Okay, so this guy here is called the origin. The origin is something that you'll use in most CAD drawing packages. If you're using SolidWorks or Fusion 360, you'll always end up with this XYZ origin right here. I want to start my drawing on the corner right here. So if I go to my drawing set, I'm going to put my origin right down here in this bottom left corner. That's a good practice. You want to always have your origin down there, and then you're going to build and use your dimensions and build off of it that direction. So as you can see, my line tool doesn't really want to snap to it. You can see it's kind of floating right there. A lot of times when you snap to the origin, that's only going to happen the first couple minutes of your drawing. I click on snap mode down here. These are all your parameters for your snap tools, and you should have seen this in some of the Solid Professor videos, but this is grid snap, and what this snaps to is the grid on the screen right here, and it also snaps to that origin. So you can see it's locked on right now. My coordinates next to my cursor are 0, 0. That's what we want. Click to start, and we'll click again. It stays in the construction line tool, which is good because I'm going to put another one that direction, and then I'm going to press the escape key. Escape. So now we've got two construction lines. horizontal, vertical. And that's going to form our border that we're going to line up on for the drawing. So I'm going to go back to my drawing set. I'm going to look at some dimensions. I'm going to concentrate on this view right down here for the next couple of minutes. So this dimension right here, 5.13, is the one I want to pay attention to right now. It's the width, the full width of this part right there. I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. Not that one, this one. Okay. So we're going to click the offset tool. Here's the next tool that's going to be your good friend. So it's here's the pencil tool, just 2 down from the pencil tool is offset. When you click offset, you're going to see a message come up next to your cursor. It says specify offset distance. It's really important when you click a tool that you read either what's in the text next to the cursor, or down here in this line down here. It says specify offset distance. So I know the offset distance is 5.13, 5.13, and then enter. That's the other important part. After you type it in, press enter. Boom. Select object to offset. We're going to select this object because we want to offset it this direction. Okay. So now we've got an offset that's the same width as our first view, like the front view. All right. So now we are going to do one more offset. So I'm going to click escape. I'm going to go up to the offset tool again, specify offset distance. We are going to do, let's go back to the drawing set. We're going to offset this 3.5. So we're going to go to the top value right here, 3.5. You might be able to see what I'm doing here. I'm now creating an outline. So we're going to go 3.5, enter. We're going to offset this line. We're going to go up with that. All right. So now we've got basically a bounding box around my first view. Not done yet. Okay, we're going to go back to the drawing set. Next, I want to create a stopping point for this line right here. So I want to create another offset. I want to offset this construction line up 2.25. This will all make sense in just a minute. Okay. Offset 2.25, enter. Go up. Okay. Now we're going to do our first bit of drawing. We're going to switch our layer. We're going to make the 0 layer active. We're going to grab our normal line tool right over here. And we're just going to trace. We got to turn our grid snap off because we don't want to snap to the grid. You can see right now that this is going to snap to the intersection. You can see my cursor floating out here, and then you get that little symbol and it snaps. Okay. If we go here to this down here, we get a menu of snap options. So you can snap to endpoints, midpoints, center points, quadrants, intersections, tangents, nearests, stuff like that. We can toggle these on and off as needed. This right here I know is an intersection, so it's where these two lines connect or cross basically. So if I turn that off and then I try to hover over it, it's gonna give me a midpoint snap, but it's not gonna give me the intersection point. So if I come over here, I don't get anything because I don't have intersection turned on. I want intersection. I'm gonna go intersection right there. Okay, click out here. You can also turn all of the snaps on and off at once just by doing that. So it's blue, it's on, black, it's off. None of those are active. I want it on. Okay. So I'm in my 0 layer. I got my line tool. I'm going to click here. I'm gonna click down here. I can see my snap is activated, so I know it's snapping on that point. AutoCAD, it's really easy to snap and just be a tiny bit off. So see that right there? See how this line is not quite on it? You want to make sure it's exactly on the points you want. So you might have to zoom in and just make sure that your lines are exactly on top of one another. Okay. So now, if I go ahead and turn off my hidden line layer, I'm going to use this light bulb to turn this off. You're going to see that we've got the beginning of our drawing, of our front view. So we've got these two lines right here. Okay, so now you can start to see kind of the method of how I draw and how I lay out these views. And these construction lines are going to be helpful later too. So you might be thinking to yourself, this is kind of a lot of work to be just drawing these two lines. But in the end, all these construction lines are actually going to give us points to snap to when we draw these lines over here as well, and these lines up here. So the front view can be a little bit of extra work setting up, but as you complete these, the right side view and the top view, all of your lines are going to transfer up and over. So it's going to make your work to draw these views actually a lot easier. So you're going to save time a little bit later. Okay, so you're starting to see the picture. All right, we're going to turn this back on. We're going to draw this line at this point right now, but it's a different length than this. So we're going to go back to our drawing. We're going to see that this line is 2.5 up from that baseline. Okay, so we're going to offset another line up. Go back to here. Click offset. 2.5, enter. We're going to click this line. We're going to go up there. All right, so now we've got this lower line. Actually, this upper line, 2.5. This was 2.25. Okay, we're going to switch layers. Actually, we're on our layer again. It stayed on this layer because I just offset that one, so it stayed. Okay, line down to there. And just to show you, there you go. All right, we got that next line. Okay, so we're going to talk about angled lines this time. So we're going to go back to our drawing set. We're going to go ahead and do this 45-degree angle right here. All right, I'm going to grab our line tool. We're going to go to the end point right there. And we're going to talk about how angles work in AutoCAD right now. So if I bring my cursor out this direction, you're going to see that there's a distance that's highlighted in blue, 2.98. If I press the tab button on my keyboard, it tabs over to the degree. That is the 0 degree. So if I come out completely horizontally to the right, that's 0. If I go up this direction, I can go up to, it'll snap to 45 because that's how I have my snap set up right now. So you're going to see that it's increasing in value in a positive way. So it's positive 45. If I went down this way, this is actually a negative 45 this way. So that's how the degrees go. They go counterclockwise around like this. And so even though my drawing, let's go back to my drawing, this is 45 degrees from here. It's basically 45 from here up to the vertical, this direction right there. So those are the same. So it would be 0, 45 up this way, 90, and then 90 plus another 45 is 135. So we're going to go up here, and since it's blue, I can type over that. So let's say 135, enter, and I get a line right there. And you're going to see that it's too long, but it's at the right angle. That's okay. We'll trim that off in a little bit. Okay, let's go back to the drawing, and we're going to offset this line. We're going to get this point right here. So we're going to offset a construction line in this direction, 1.63. I'm going to say offset 1.63, enter. We're going to bring our cursor to this side, escape, press the line button here, and now we can just go from this endpoint, which is the end of our line, up to this intersection right there, escape, get out of the tool, and now we've got this angled line right there. And grab the line tool again, endpoint to intersection, escape, and we've got the outline of our part. Except this, we got to trim this off. That's pretty easy. So the trim tool right here, this is a really helpful one. So in this example, we're going to use the trim tool. Underneath the trim tool is the extend tool. And so you can take a line that's a little too short, press extend, and it'll let you extend it to the next line that it can run into. We're going to use the trim tool. After you press the trim tool, you want to press the enter key. So if I don't press the enter key and do this, enter, it selects that as a boundary tool instead and won't trim. So you see I pressed it and it didn't trim anything. So if I press trim and then press the enter key, enter, that selects all the objects on the screen, and then you can press the one you want to trim, and it trims that section between all of the other lines, basically. So trim tool, enter, and then it lets you trim the tool or trim the line that you hover over. Okay, so let's turn the hidden layer off, and you can see we've got the outline of our part here. Okay, turn that back on. All right, so what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go ahead and let you do the circle yourself. I'm going to let you set up the circle using the offset tool. So you'll offset up this dimension, you'll offset over this dimension. You'll get two construction lines that cross here. And I'm going to actually just show you how to do the this right side view and how to set those up. Okay. So what I'm going to have you guys do between each view, so this distance here between this view and this view, and between this view and this view, we're going to set up at 3 inches. So the distance is going to be the same between here and here as it is between here and here. So again, we're going to use the offset tool. So offset, this time 3 inches, 3, enter. Click the line, bring your cursor over to this side before you press the mouse button. Escape, and now you can see we've got the corner of our right side view set up right there. Okay, so back to the drawing. This is going to be 2 inches wide, and I can tell from this view up here that this 2 inches is also the same as this 2 inches right there. So back to this one, click offset, 2, enter. There we go, escape. Now we can grab our rectangle tool, which is here. We go from this intersection to this intersection, escape, and now we've got the outline already of our right side view. It's all set up. It's exactly in line with the top here. It's in line with the bottom here. It's a 3-inch distance from between the views. And look at this. We can now reuse the construction lines that we've already got set up to communicate these edges. So if we're looking in this direction, we're going to see this edge right here, but this edge over here is actually going to be hidden right there. That's going to be hidden. Okay, so let's zoom in. I'm going to grab, since I'm on the 0 layer, I'm going to go ahead and draw this one right there, escape. And then I'm going to draw, I'm going to switch, let's see. You know what? I messed up here. I should have called this construction layer. That was my mistake. Let's see, let's go to layer properties. I'm going to rename the layer. So what I did to rename that is I right-clicked and got a menu on there. Rename layer, construction. I misled you guys. Sorry about that. Construction. Okay, we're going to do a new layer. It's called hidden. Right there. I'm going to make this white. Bring this over here. Okay. Then I'm going to close it. Okay. So I'm going to make the hidden layer my active layer at this point. Grab the line tool. And I'm going to go like this, right there. Escape. Now I can turn my construction layer off. And what you're going to see is you're going to get a visible line and a hidden line. So the hidden line represents this point, this edge back here that you wouldn't be able to see because you're looking at this block from this direction right here. This edge is clearly visible, which is that. The other two hidden lines are going to relate to your circle. So let's just throw in a circle. This is not going to be in the correct position. I'll switch back to my 0 layer. Now again, this isn't, you're going to want to set this up accurately. This is just as an example. So if we were here and we wanted to represent the hidden lines that are the outside of this circle on this view, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to switch to the construction layer. We're going to make that active, and we're going to add construction lines. I'll just do one. I'll just do the bottom. So you're going to add your hidden line here to represent the bottom edge. You'd do the same thing up here. You'd add another hidden line that would represent the top of that circle. So if we go back to the drawings, you're going to notice that's what these dotted lines are. These dotted lines represent the top of this circle and the bottom of this circle. This line happens to line up really closely with this one. So those two are actually on top of each other. That's why it looks like there's only one, but that should be basically two lines there. So we got a hidden line that represents that edge, and then we've got these two hidden lines that represent those right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna have you guys do the same, basically use the same tools that we created these views with. And you can see how quickly this view gets created after we do the front view. You're going to do the same thing with the view up here. And you can apply these same tools to the bracket on the other page. So I'm just gonna do the extend tool. I'm gonna show you two things on this drawing that I didn't show you yet on the other one. So the extend tool, here's how the extend tool works. We'll click extend. Okay, let's do this again. Extend, you gotta press enter, again, just like the trim tool, before you select the line. So enter, then you go over the line you want to extend, and it extends that line. So that's the way you do that. Okay. In order to get the radius in here, what we're going to use is the fillet tool, sketch fillet right there. All right. So down here, it's going to give you options for what you want to, how you want to describe the size of it. Usually in a fillet, we're going to use this radius command. So we're gonna give it a radius value. So here, the R is blue right there. That's to show you what letter to type. So I'm gonna say R, enter. And now the message next to my cursor changes. Specify fillet radius. I'm actually gonna do the 3. That is the value for that radius. I'm gonna press enter. And now you can select the lines to fill it, just like that. I'm going to undo that and I'll redo it again. So fillet tool right there. We're going to say R, enter. R, enter. 3, enter. Select first object, select second object, and we get a rounded corner. Okay, so using those, even using the construction line method, you can set up all of your, you can finish off this bracket. The other thing that's helpful, because they don't give you measurements, they don't give you dimensions very clearly on this drawing. If you use the measurement tool and say distance, you can click on there to there, you get 15, there's 15, press escape, we'll do a distance again, distance, there to there is 2. So now you can start to get your values for your stuff. So if you wanted to measure that circle, so that's a radius of 3.5 or a diameter of 7. So then you can get your values to do your offsets for your construction lines that way. Okay, this was a huge, long video. Typically, my videos are not this long, but since it's the beginning of class and we're just getting these basic tools worked out, it was a bit longer. I'm going to stop it there today because I think what you can do is you can get your bracket drawing completed, and you can get this example 1 completed as well. And again, we're not going to draw this view at all. We're not going to do that. We are only drawing these 3 views. This is just there for visual reference, for your, so you can make sense of what this part is. We are not drawing this right now. Eventually, we'll make a couple of these drawings, but not right now. Okay, so what we're looking for is the 3-view drawing here. And yeah, so good luck. Let me know if I can help. Yeah, reach out, and we'll talk to you soon.